Good afternoon. September 9th, 1:05 at the location 8885 West, 3500 South, the General Office Building. I'd like to call this to order, and I'd like to ask if you guys would all stand in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So who present here today is Clint Dilley, Nathan Bracken, Dallas Headline, Jeff White, Mick Sudbury, Danny Stewart, Leal Fitzgerald, Raymond Mondragon, and Trevor Andre. I'd like to welcome the public and guest. Does anybody here, well, I'm going to move just a sec. Does anybody here have a conflict of interest on the agenda? See none? Okay, anybody have any public comments they want to address?
No, sir.
And feel free as we go along, if there's something you want to question, as it's not too crazy, I'm willing to take. And I learned that from Dan, so. Okay, approval of common consents items.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to approve the minutes of the regular board meeting held August 11th, 2022.
Second that. It's been motion second, all in favor?
Aye. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to approve the expenses for August 8th to September 4th. The general expenses of $1,559,867.71, and the Zions Bank bond payment for $83,282.19.
I'll second that.
It's been motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Clint.
Yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Chairman, we've got the manager's report. Is that, just an update to the board. You've got the report in the packet. I just wanted to highlight a couple things. We have been receiving significant interest in the HR manager position through the consultant, Hire Integrated. They have been screening a lot of candidates. We've also got our applicant pro going that has received a lot of applications. Those are just getting forwarded to Hire Integrated, and they're pre-screening those as well. Of the, I would say there's probably been 30 to 40 that I know of.
Wow.
They've only sent over 3 so far for that I've had one virtual interview, 1-hour meetings virtually. As the first step they recommended. We've done that with 3. I've got 4 more set up. Of the 3, I thought 2 would be a potentially good fit, so we've got meetings set up with the management team. I'm trying to get coordinated for next week. If they pass that round, then they would go with the board. We try to set up a time. So we're trying to get some candidates narrowed down, and then meet with the board and do a final.
So Clint, explain to everybody here how we went and done that. How I mean, what they actually did. Like they went out and.
Oh yeah, the majority of the candidates that were first coming through actually weren't looking for jobs at the time. They just have quite a network of relationships through social media, LinkedIn, other. They have a lot of network in the HR world because they're kind of an HR company, so they know a lot of the people in the industry. So they've reached out to several that have secure, stable jobs and said, hey, would you be interested? This might be a good fit for you. And there's been quite a bit of interest in that approach.
So that's where the 40 came from?
That's where the first handful that I've interviewed were mostly from that.
Awesome.
I'm really happy with what we're getting. I think they're doing their homework. They're also interviewing them first before I even get their resume. So thought I'd give the board an update on that. Unless you have any questions, I'll move on to the next
Go ahead
item.
and move on.
The customer service meter technician, we had that posted for the new position, and Mike Harms from the collection crew was the only one to put in for that. We're actually really excited. We think Mike's gonna be a great fit. He has good customer service skills, a wide range of knowledge and experience with different issues from water and sewer side. And he has had experience with the Cassell software and taking payments so he can back up the front office.
That's awesome.
I think it's just gonna make a world of difference on our customer service meter side, so. That has been awarded, and Dallas now, he's short,
Again,
so we're moving forward with the in-house posting on the collections, and we'll go through that process. We'll update the board.
we should tell them they can't move for 6 months.
Yeah,
I think Mike has been over there,
Yeah.
has he, 6 months at least?
Maybe not on collections, but he's been here for 6 months.
Well, yeah.
Okay, the only other couple things I wanna highlight, we got, and Dallas will talk about this, so I'm gonna leave this, the fuel storage tank, you'll give an update on that. We completed district-wide sexual harassment training, this month, so, we're in good shape there on that annual requirement. I wanted to report back to the board on that.
Do we do that? Are we gonna start doing that yearly?
That's supposed to be yearly, so yeah, we'll
And
make sure we do that.
so legal counsel, do you recommend when we do that, they sign everything saying they've
Yeah, you
received?
should have, I mean, that's not required, but it's helpful to have that, so if
anything-
if something happens and they say, well, I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to do this, you can say, well, we had this training on this day and you signed this acknowledgement.
Right.
Stating that you were given this information, you received the training.
Yeah,
Actually, a signing.
yeah, there was a sign-in sheet.
Oh, was it a signing? Okay, so
We
we'll.
were working on getting a statement that they could sign.
Okay, I just think it's good we do that in today's world, just
Yeah.
so we're on the uppity up.
We had a follow-up with White City. Mick was able to schedule a tour. There was some confusion on where to meet there, but,
You didn't want me to go, so I got left out.
it wasn't that. We thought we were meeting out there and, Mick,
It's all good.
anyways, that was very beneficial, and we appreciate you setting that up. We were able to see their facility and how they secure files, how their storage system works. We were also accompanied by one of their board members, the long-term board member, Paulina Flynn, and their general manager, and their records officer. They all took us around, and we saw a lot of things that we liked, some things that we would tweak, but I think it's gonna be it'll inform our final design for the basement, so that was very worthwhile, thanks.
Nope, that's great. And they're kind of in the same deal where, as I was talking with Paul, he said they would like, and as he's talked to you too about, maybe putting their, files on,
Yeah.
and so maybe we could both come up with something and get it pretty good.
We don't have a financial item on this month's report,
Okay.
but I wanted to take a minute, had a discussion with Leal and Mandy. They've been working on quite a few revisions to the financial operations and basically billing and payments. And would you mind giving the board some of the things in the high level that you guys have been working on? And I'm really, really excited.
We are too.
It takes time, but Leal now has the time working with Mandy to really come up with some great ideas. She's getting data on some data she told me yesterday was how many transactions each customer service representative did in
Like
a
over the
month.
phone or electronic transactions.
So how many payments they're taking. We have all kinds of data so we can analyze efficiency and productivity of our staff in the front office. So when we get concerns that come in, that's just one tool that we can look at to say, okay, are we getting fully engaged, fully productive staff? That's one aspect of the I'll let you kind of.
And then
I'm so excited. I'm jumping in. You kind of give an update.
keep going. No, we're working on, right now we approve requisitions and purchase orders by routing paper around. With Cassell, they have something called Connect Online. And we're trying to make it so the lead man, or not the lead man, the managers will receive all the requisitions to approve, and then after that, it'll go to Clint to be approved, all electronic.
And
then-
it will have a checklist that it has met all of the purchasing requirements.
Yeah, and then it also will tell the managers if it's over budget or not.
I like that.
And then they also will be able to look at every item in their budget and look to see where they're at year to date, if they're over, they're under. So they'll be able to go online and do that and see where they're at.
That'll be nice.
Really
So that's
helpful.
one thing we're working on. We're also working on, we haven't bid out the online services for a long time, how our customers go on and pay, Express Bill Pay. We haven't bid out those services for a long time, and it seems like every time Express comes up with a new feature, it's just more money to pay to have that feature. So we've reached out to a place called Invoice Cloud that partners with Cassell, also with Express. Anyway, we're really excited about that one. We like the interface. It seems user-friendly. There's more features for what we're paying now. So instead of adding on every little thing we have to pay more money for. I haven't gotten numbers yet from them. The platform looks really good. I like it.
Okay.
So we're working on
For-
that.
For example, Lial can tell us, one of the things we're gonna do is, we know what percent of our customers use automatic bill pay. And obviously, you can imagine the more customers that use that, the way it cuts down on labor and
For billing.
staff time to take payments over the phone.
Yeah.
And so she's gonna set a target, essentially, like, we're at 40%, or I can't remember what the exact number was, but we wanna get to this percent.
Yeah.
We'll go and do all the low-cost items that we can do, like
To incentivize them to sign up
incentivize
for
people
it.
from getting in, but then we might get to the point where we've maybe added 5–10%, and we wanna get more. We might consider, incentives or a little bit more costly items to implement, but the payback could be really big and really beneficial. So she'll be able to come up with options and strategies for us to improve on those services as well, which is exciting.
And then just a real quick note, Clint, we did get the Cassell document management downloaded, and Mandy and I are working, we still have a couple more trainings to do, but right now we're playing with our vendors, and it's working great. I like what I've seen so far. So that's implemented, and we're starting to do that. So a lot of changes, a lot of
Yeah, a lot of great ideas that.
pluses, but it'll just take a while to get them implemented and running and ready to go.
So Liao, will that software then be a subscription where we, every year? Is it very expensive?
The Cassell document management added, I want to say 500 to our monthly subscription with Cassell already.
Okay.
So yeah, it is a monthly subscription. The other things that I've talked about, the one with Cassell is not, it's included with our subscription now, where they can see the recs and stuff. The other Invoice Cloud would be in place of Express Bill Pay, and there is a fee for transactions, but we're hoping it'll bring our fees down.
Okay.
We'll see.
Two other things I'm excited about. We spend a lot of time with people on the phone taking payments. And so one thing we were talking yesterday is maybe we could answer the phone, and if they wanted to make a payment, we could direct them to some automated,
Oh,
so we're diverting.
save some time.
They don't have to. If they say no, I'd rather just make a payment, we'll take it. But it could save us a lot of time if we could divert those customers and they could just pay, oh, hey, do you know about online bill pay? Or do
Yeah,
you-
that'd be
Or
good.
there's this automated phone system that you can make a payment, it's quick, and, you know, if you have any issues, you can certainly call back in. But
We
there's some options out there we can consider there. We've also, there's a lot of time when someone comes in for a new application, that takes a lot of time, and most people don't wanna come in and fill out paperwork. If we can integrate that into a more electronic approach, we're thinking that could cut down on a lot of time and improve customer service, so.
Yeah, the customers would be happy about that.
So I'm gonna just speak for myself when it comes to that. When it comes to that, I'm a little slow.
Yeah.
So it's like push 1 for this, push 2 for this, push 3 for this. So time I get to where I need to be, I could have been speaking to somebody.
Yeah.
And then when you go push into that, then they want you to go into something else. And the next thing you know, you hang up and you call back and you're waiting to try to see if you can really talk to a live voice.
Yeah, and we don't want that.
We envision
We would-
it as a live person answering.
Yeah.
If they say, I'd like to make a payment on an account, you could say, well, we do have an automated payment system, would you like to go there? If they say yes, then it's gonna kick them right into,
It's just a
Please
one,
put your
it's just
account
a
number
one
in.
diversion.
Okay.
The one that I was really impressed with is the one where you come up and you upload your information sheet, and the people can take all the time they want to fill that out and then send it back. Do we have that capability?
Not right now.
Is it?
You're exactly right, that's what we want.
That is really
So they
safe.
don't have to sit in the front office, they can even just
Yeah.
fill it out at home, email it back.
Well, it has a place and then you just send it back, but I just found that last week, and that was a lot better than talking to a person on the phone, because number one, the person helping on the phone doesn't speak very good English.
Yeah.
So that's the hardest time I have, but then you've got your own discretion to take a little bit of time if you don't have the information in front of you.
absolutely.
You can get it and still fill it out, and then, it's like yellow highlighted, the ones that you're supposed to fill out. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, you're right. You call and you don't understand them, so you hang up. You call back, and guess what? You get another one.
And if, I mean, there's technology out there now, because they do have to bring in their documents, they have to bring in a copy of their driver's license, and they have to bring in proof of ownership. But they can click
Click a
and
picture and send it.
attach and send it to us.
Oh, they could? Well, we're gonna have a lot of people that are gonna be filling out application, aren't we? for
Yeah,
the
oh,
new-
there's a lot of that activity. Yeah, we have a lot of that.
Yeah.
If somebody has to do that.
And then,
manually-
and then we also are talking about cutting down on the information, maybe do more of the information in a packet rather than verbal explanation. You know, I don't mind that with the customer that wants to take the time, but
There's a lot of them that
there's a
just-
lot of them that just wanna get in and out. If we can reduce their time here, improve the service, and then the ones that wanna take a little bit more time may want the
So-
information, we can.
So I have a question. So you know how when you buy a home, you go into closing and everything, and they lay out this, and they lay out that. Wonder if we were having an application that we could give to the lenders that they could say, you got to go get water, and they have we don't care about Utah Rocky Mountain. We just care about getting our application filled out. Then it would be already filled out, and they could turn it in. Then that way, I mean, that's just a thought. I don't know how hard that would, but it depends on what builders out here or what lenders they're using.
Yeah, that's
But they have a packet when they close a deal, everything's in there, and it tells you need to contact Magnum Water, Rocky Mountain. But if they had the application in the packet,
Or go online and get a packet.
yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, well, anyways, I'm
Yeah.
excited. I think
Okay.
these changes are gonna be real positive. that
Okay.
they also have gone with.
I just have to they took almost 700 payments over the phone in July. It's crazy.
It is.
I didn't look at the total for August, but I think it was more.
Okay, that's my.
Okay, that's your report. Okay, the engineering report, Trevor.
All right. So this had come up, I wanted to bring it to your attention and maybe have just a brief discussion. So this is 8400 west, 4100 south. And this is a development discussion. So the person who owns this property, 2 pieces of the property, in that square.
Is that the Andersons?
I can't remember, I'd have to look up who it is.
Okay, no
but I
problem.
don't believe so.
Is it the other side? Okay. Okay, oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
So they've inquired about getting water service. They're outside of our service area, obviously. This yellow line is the edge there. So, basically what they've asked is, can you just, bring it up to your board and get their temperature on it and see. And I've spoken with Nathan, yesterday briefly about it, some concerns we have, or it's not in our service area. It's in West Valley City's boundary. Would there be conflicts with them? They obviously don't have service out here either. They don't have water or sewer. We are the closest. In my discussions, I've just kept it purely, in theory, we could get water out there. You'd have to run an 8-inch line. We don't have sewer service close enough, in those discussions. So he knows kind of that there would be a significant cost. But I told him that, this is.
Do you know what he's gonna put there?
Yeah, they sell like emergency disaster equipment or like packages,
Okay.
and water systems, like RO systems.
Okay.
So all kind of packaged stuff that they just ship out, store and sell and ship.
So the price you told him didn't scare him off?
I mean, he's like, well, and we'll probably even have to improve the roadway, and he's just like,
Wow.
Has he approached the township? Or I guess it's outside
It's
of
in
your
Kern,
boundaries.
it's in West Valley,
Yeah,
so it's a
you
West
wouldn't be
Valley
talking-
You
land.
have to go to the city of West
he
Valley.
has spoken to West Valley.
Okay.
And they,
How's our agreement with West Valley on that?
I don't think we have any like service agreements with West Valley, right? Other
would
than
probably
what's
be-
in our boundary.
It would probably be Kearns, right? Because we're serving someone in, you're saying that's Kearns boundary?
No, it's not Kearns.
Oh,
It's
it's-
within West Valley City. And so what Trevor and I talked about yesterday is, we can do this, but there are a lot of things you need to consider. Is whenever you're gonna provide service in somebody else's boundaries, you gotta make sure they're okay with it.
Right, get in.
But the larger question though for me is, if you guys do provide service to this property, probably everybody else who's got property there is then going to, when they want to develop their property, ask you for service. And so it's going to be hard for you to say, you're going to set a precedent. And so the larger question is, okay, not so much this property, but do we want to be providing services in this area? Is this something we want to do long-term? Because if you do it for him, somebody else is going to come along. The other part of it is, how do you do that? Would you do an annexation, which is something that West Valley would probably have to agree to because it's part of their service?
And we'd have to have a another Jordan Valley annexation.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So or is this something we can do just through an agreement? But I think the more fundamental question is, aside from this property, if you go out and you extend a line down there, everybody else in this area, because West Valley can't do it, because I think that's Northrop Grumman on the east side of the highway there, right?
Is it? That's Northrop?
So that's not an area that's going to develop, but all the other side is, and so is that something you guys want? And in my experience working with you, we haven't really gotten a lot of benefits when we have done annexation. A lot of headaches. Every time something goes wrong with an annexation, they always threaten to sue
Because
us.
it's not in your area.
Well, even the stuff we have annexed into our area, Trevor and I,
Can you have them sign a thing
You
that,
get more property taxes.
can you have them sign a thing, Nathan, where they couldn't sue us?
well,
know,
yeah,
I mean-
it's and whether they'd sign that or not. My larger point, and this is your call, this isn't a legal question, it's just a practical call, is do you want to provide water outside your service?
And I would say you would need some sort of a master plan document. You would need a plan that we can provide service to the larger area, right, and how we're gonna do it.
Absolutely.
And we've talked about this before in the AR&R update, that I think we need to have for instance, a city, if someone wants to annex into a city from an unincorporated county, cities have an annexation policy plan in which they say, here's what we're gonna look for if we're gonna bring this in, right? Usually it's we have to be able to provide services, but some cities say, you know, is this worth our time? Like, do we even want this? And I think my suggestion would be you need to have something like that, so you're treating people fairly. Where you get in trouble as a government entity is if you do one thing for one person, but you don't do it
For the other.
for the other.
Set a precedent.
Picking and choosing. He's in what I gather, speaking to him, he's in a position where he's gotta sign a lease renewal, and he owns this property, and so he's looking at his dollars and trying to figure out.
Yeah,
what he wants
I
to
understand that too.
The one thing I will say, just for context, we included in the last master plan, we included areas that weren't in our district in the plan, but those were zone 3. So we could serve them with our existing zone.
Right.
This one is probably servable, but it's pushing the limits.
It's within our 40 PSI minimum, you know,
But
it's
not much beyond that, right?
It's not a great location, so to speak.
So I would come back and probably say, hey, this is another zone for us. So you could say, to provide reliable service, we would need to build out the next zone,
Yeah.
and get it planned.
You don't have a service area for that zone.
Right, we would have to,
Hey, that'd be that'd be the
So,
truth.
I think I got the answer. I can tell him that's great. I just wanted to.
What is he doing otherwise? Drill a well?
Do a septic tank.
He could drill a well if he can get water rights and get approved. That's not easy to do in the Salt Lake Valley because of the groundwater management plan.
Yeah.
I will say we have interlocal agreements where we serve outside of our
Yeah.
service area. So that's not without precedent. We have
Is the revenue.
We have the Granger Hunter ones that Leal's actually reviewing with Granger Hunter right now. And then we have one out Tempo Road with Central Valley. They operate that compost facility, and we have a 12-inch line and a meter at our boundary.
Oh,
So we monitor anything that goes out past our boundary, and was handled by interlocal agreement. So it could happen, but make sense I mean, those are government entities where we've got those agreement in place. We don't have any that I know of with just a single private homeowner.
but if somebody wanted to do more development, let's say more people wanted to get on that, maybe West Valley would take it on. That's the problem.
Yeah.
They would automatically say if this is a one guy thing or one property thing, it's not worth their trouble. But maybe if this guy.
Well, it's close
got
for
some other
us, though.
Yeah.
And that's the larger concern about why, if you're gonna do something like this, you can do an annexation, you do an agreement. You really gotta talk to the other jurisdiction to see, because who knows, maybe they've got some master plan for this area that, you know.
Probably.
If I had a recommendation, I would say we're not opposed to it, but there is a substantial amount of coordination since you would spark a need for a whole new zone.
Yeah.
And we would need to look at annexation or interlocal agreement, and that would all need to be planned for. How would we serve that zone? I mean, that's maybe one option, just to let him know, hey, there's quite a bit of coordination. We got West Valley, Jordan Valley,
I think with it,
you know, our board.
from what I gather on his time frame, you know, that type of answer is gonna make up his mind for him. You know, and he could be back in the future when we're ready, or, you know, when
Yeah.
development's doing something different. So,
It does make me think on the next master plan round, whether the board wants us to evaluate that zone 4. What a zone 4 would look like, whether we do that or not, like in a preliminary
Yeah.
scale.
What kind of money it would cost?
in a way, Little Valley, right, up on the hill is
Yeah.
the fourth zone. We've kind of looked at that. Okay. Other engineering things, we're moving forward with the lead and copper rule in the inventory. Our consultant has been here scanning documents. They, you know, brought the.
So Trevor, I would like Dan explain yesterday when you was talking to Marie, what pipe was you saying back in the day they used to use on the west side of town? When we were talking about, yeah, she just kind of said, oh, I gotta go back and look at that, didn't she?
You wouldn't think that anybody would choose black iron pipe. But you go back into the forties and that, probably half the guys that work for Kent got it. And if they had a water leak, and they could pick up a pipe that will up work, they'd do it. They didn't care whether it was black iron or copper iron, plastic or copper, whatever, as long as it fit in there, kept the water back on, that's all. So it's something that they may want to look at.
Sure.
And she said that yesterday, didn't she, after when we were talking to her, so.
Yeah, so they've been very helpful. We'll start with the new vector, utilizing that to help us field inventory as well. So that's moving along well. We talked about getting the well, Barton and Haynes well level tracking sheet. We've gathered 10 years of level information. Now we're at the point where we're trying to figure out where that measurement is coming from so that, everything is accurate and that between the different wells, we're showing the same relative elevation, So working with Hanson Elwes, hope to have something for you next month.
Okay.
That shows that more. I'll just give you a quick picture of the pump house. It has even changed from this. It backfilled. It filled in to the floor level. Floor should be poured.
Yeah, they poured the floor.
Yeah. So we'll start seeing vertical block next week on that pump station. So
It's supposed to be blocking Monday.
Now, is this zone 3 pump house?
yeah, this is the zone 3 booster pump. Let's see. Epic Engineering's turning 25. That's just a quick.
Are ya?
You look like a young man.
They've got an open house, right?
When's that?
20th.
We need to go to that.
Don wasn't involved with the 20th house.
The 20th at what time?
11.
Okay. You pick us up?
You send out a bus for our group?
And then, so they're also working on the Freeport sewer replacement right now. Once that's done, in about 2 to 3 weeks, they'll turn over to the water in Edith and Florence. So those ones are moving along good. There's also a few sampling stations they're working on right now throughout the city. I think that pretty much covered it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Raymond, how about your water?
Mr. Chairman?
Oh, okay, sorry.
Danny, that's on Tuesday, September 20th at 11:30.
Okay.
The Epic luncheon.
At the Epic offices.
Yes.
At your West Valley office, right?
It says it's at a park.
Oh, it's at the park.
If you wanna come here, we'll drive out together.
Okay.
Oh, no, I've not tried doing that.
Say, make sure communication is right.
That wasn't Trevor's fault, that was my fault.
I'll wait for you.
Thank you, nobody's here. Okay, water production report. The Colony water production of August was 219.6 million gallons or 673.89 acre feet, a 9.38 increase from 2021. Year-to-date production was 1,193.3 million gallons or 3,662.34 acre feet, a 4.8% decrease from 2021. We have purchased 536.35 acre feet of water from Jordan Valley as of August 22. Call out report. Total number of call outs 13, total number of hours paid 74.75. One main line, 3 service leaks, and 9 miscellaneous callouts. That is a water production report for that. And as you look in your package, you'll see some pictures of, we have actually put in place some of our training facilities.
So where are them pictures? Did you say you have pictures
It
of,
shouldn't be in your packet, it should be
Called
under
yard
training.
training course.
And Trevor's got to pull up
Hopefully
on the
you all
screen.
have it.
yeah, I have that part, but I mean the pictures like on our leaks, like call out leaks? For like,
Oh, they just already started that, so, and actually, they actually send those to me and Clint on our phones actually, so we're not actually.
Would you like pictures in the?
I would like to kind of look at them,
Let's
absolutely.
start adding them.
Okay, I'll just have them when we do that call out, us two will put you in those, pictures. And then I can forward you the ones that I have, Mickey.
Well,
And
I-
that way,
I
if
think
I
what-
have people complain, then I can just say, here, this is what I have.
So, well, let me make sure we're clear. Do you want them in the board packet as a summary, or do you want them as?
No, we can have them in a board. What do you guys want to do? I'm
Just
okay.
something we can refer to.
I'm just something so we can look. So when someone calls and says, hey, what are you doing this leak repair on a holiday?
Sent to your
As it
phone.
happens.
You would need it more.
You want it right then,
Right then,
when
or-
it comes in at that point, because. you're
Yeah,
not gonna know
yeah,
until
that,
later.
okay, yeah, that's good too.
I'll just send it to you to your phone,
Okay,
because if not, you're not gonna see it, and it's gonna be probably buried
Okay.
in asphalt, so it'll be.
okay, that'll work.
Again, Mickey, and Mr. Chairman.
You're fine.
And board, if you look on the board, you'll see our pictures that we've actually put together on these pictures. You'll see we made like 3 different, courses, actually there's 4. You'll see one has what should be your top picture, which shows a fire hydrant.
Right.
Which is a repair, which this hydrant will be used for training on breakdown, tear outs, and replacing parts on the hydrant. And as we come across other hydrants in the system that we replace, and they're different hydrants, we'll add these to this yard. So there'll be more training on fire hydrants. Then you come down to the next picture, you see a pipe, a main line.
Yes.
Pipe. That pipe is there for what we're gonna practice, where they'll be sectioning pipes and that, so they can actually go in there and cut it out, repair sleeves on it, put clamps on it as they take it
Well,
apart.
you better get the tanker next to it so you can dump water in it.
Oh, we
That's
want
not
to
accurate.
they put some caps on it and then put some pressure on it, so when it squirts
Oh.
them when they cut into it.
Okay.
Yeah, we needed some training on putting a rag over like a spring.
Yeah, so.
They didn't even grasp that one.
Yeah,
on
we
the
had them
first
where
one.
they were doing a leak and they didn't grasp the putting a rag over the hole, they were just letting it spray on top of it.
In the face is what it looked like.
Yeah, so it was. And then the lower picture, Mr. Chairman and Board, is the trench we're gonna have them where they'll actually tap into this pipe and put a connection on it, lay it out, set up a service line, put the meter, the setter, and run out a tailpiece on it, so they'll know when they get on the field what they need to do to put a service in,
Oh,
to repair it and we replace.
I like that.
yeah.
And then if you look where it says on the bigger picture, it says utility training.
Yes.
As you go farther to the south, we've actually buried pipes. So they'll have them when they're on the machine, they'll be learning when they're digging to feel for these pipes. So they'll come across, they're big enough pipes that they're not gonna hurt them, but they'll know how to feel them and they'll learn how to dig around them, under them.
So do you think you'll use the excavator more often now to locate rather than dig next to a
I
pipe?
guess, I think we will, but like you say, we still, here and there, we're gonna have to use the backhoe because
Right,
Right.
depending on
Too
the
much
condition of
material to move.
the rocks, and
but to find it,
we always use the hydro excavator, even to this day, but it's mostly, I'll say, it's probably 80% or more
Okay.
that we use the hydro excavator for
at
leaks.
least to locate.
Yeah, so, but with this new one, they'll actually be able to actually dig the hole.
Yeah.
Versus the old one where we were just kind of pothole, making enough of a hole that we could actually get in it. This one is gonna be a lot more, that we can actually utilize it more.
Yeah, with the new hydraulics, you don't have much feel on them now on the backhoe like we in the old days.
Oh,
where
no.
Backhoe didn't have very much power, so you hit the pipe and you go,
And it stopped.
oh,
Yeah.
okay, and then you dig to the side of it, but nowadays, it'd chop right through
Oh,
it.
yeah, exactly. And then.
I like that.
Okay, that's pretty much on our, yard training facility. We had Matt do a little, kind of checking temperature gauges at the EDR plant for room temperatures. So, and Clint has those numbers. Matt, we put a thermostat outside into the EDR where the trains are, then we put one inside of where the transformers and the power is in, so we kind of monitor different scenarios, and Clint has that information, who's gonna.
Yeah, so if you remember, at one point, we were thinking we might need $100,000 AC unit.
Right.
And we get in dust from, there's louvers that open,
Phragmites.
and then there's an exhaust fan. So it was pulling in a lot of dust, creating a lot of problems. After a lot of discussion, we went through a lot of scenarios. We thought, Matt at one point just propped the north or the south door open, and we noticed there was quite a bit of cooling just from the
breeze coming
from the EDR room. And so we just thought a lot, and we thought, what if we just cut in another door on the other end? And we needed access anyway. It was such a long room that it actually was useful for some access. And let's see how that works before we spend a lot of money on a air handler or AC. Well, Matt did some test results to confirm whether it was a good approach or not. And before how we were operating it, both louvers open to the outside and exhaust fans on, both doors closed. He was measuring 94 degrees on the south end in that room, 96 degrees on the north end, and 81 degrees in the EDR room, okay? How we've been running it recently was both louvers open with the exhaust fan running and only that south door open. So that was before we cut in the new door. It was 91 degrees on the south end, 95 degrees on the north end, and 81 degrees in the EDR.
Only a degree less on the north end.
So after cutting both doors in, leaving the north exhaust fan on but shutting the louvers, we measured 85 degrees on the south end, 84 degrees on the north end, and 81 in the EDR.
That's a lot.
So we've had a significant reduction in heat.
Is that cleaner air with the
And
new
it's
louver?
cleaner air. So we think that this could be a long-term
And the
solution.
EDR temperature is.
And the EDR
maintained.
temperature was maintained, so we were worried it might come up,
Oh,
but it's such a big room,
Yeah.
as you know.
yeah.
Uh,
A lot of the heat
We'll
would be
see
on the
how the
ceiling.
power bills are, but I think this tells us, hey, we found a low-cost solution for the time being and can improve that heat, reduce the heat, and keep the Phragmites dust out. So we're gonna keep closely monitor, but we appreciate Matt doing this
Oh, absolutely.
It
evaluation.
worked out, putting the door in, it was a
So we
good
think-
call.
Yeah,
from
thanks
the
for looking out
management
for
team.
the cost. That's,
That's really good.
This is about the hottest year we've had.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like I
A
said,
good test.
yeah.
Yeah, you did it on.
And as hot as it is to get
Yeah,
that temperature.
that's what he did, yeah, it was just last week, so.
Isn't the north end where the I call it the Phragmites vent?
Yeah.
That's where it's at. And that was,
That was the hottest point in the building,
Yeah.
and you notice now it's even cooler on that end
Yeah.
than the south side.
that's good.
So it
The
was-
transformers are
I
on
think it's
kind of
because
the
the-
midway, aren't they?
I think it was because he was running the north exhaust fan, so it was pulling that cool
Yeah.
air primarily
Pulling
out.
it up and going, yeah.
That's what we wanted.
Yeah, that's what we wanted. So that, we're pleased with that, and that was the engineering and operations team that.
Well,
came
thank
up with
you.
that, So,
Yep, turned out good, and that's the water operations report.
okay, Dallas, how about your wastewater report?
Sure, starting with wastewater treatment, there was no call-outs for the treatment plant. The clarifier drive motor for the last clarifier was set in place this week. The electricians are gonna come in on Monday and start wiring that up, and then we'll be able to put that back in service. And as far as the collections crew goes, I just wanna point out on August 17th, during a routine inspection, the collections crew found a damaged sewer pipe, and we installed an emergency repair. The address for that was 8000 West near Doubt's End. We called Twindy to come out, and they worked with our operators to make that repair and got that pipeline back in working order. There's not a whole lot to report. With the budget coming up, we're just going through some of our maintenance items to make sure that we're getting spare parts on the shelves and trying to do some preventative maintenance and see what we need to increase that efficiency on our equipment and stuff. But other than that, not a whole lot to report, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's move on to item G, water and sewer availability. A discussion, possibly motion to approve the following developments.
Chairman and board. So the first.
Time
one
out for a
is-
minute. You know what, you guys are totally fine to call us. I mean, you don't have to, if, you know, whatever your manager wants, but I'm okay to call me Mick. I mean, seriously, I mean, you know, we have respect for each other. I'm, you know, cause as far as we're all at this table.
Same level.
So we're all at the same level, so, you know, we don't have to be called Mr. or Mrs. or whatever. I'm totally fine just to be called, you know.
He
yeah.
or it or,
Just don't call me late for lunch. So I just want you guys to know that. So I think you guys feel the same way too. If not,
yep.
Yeah.
So.
It's more
this is,
relaxed.
The Flangus Townhomes PUD, this is as we kind of dug into it, it's an interesting area. It's kind of near the high school, over here in this track. At some point, this area was platted.
We're not seeing it. Are you trying to pull it up?
Geez, I am. I'm trying to show you. It's not working.
This is just,
It's also in your packet, Flangus Townhomes.
and it's just west of the, track built from Broadbank,
oh, so that's the Flanguses over there off 8400.
84, as you come in,
Yeah.
that little short.
And it's that little, isn't that the one we talked a long time ago about the short, it's just,
Yeah,
okay.
It's got sewer, but it's 50 years old, right?
and it's actually, won't make elevation now.
If you look at this, the, you know, last page in the packet under that item, you'll see kind of the parcels and the way it's platted, like it
Flangus.
was going to have a road and all these things, but it's, what we're dealing with in this is strictly these kind of 4 lots there that I've circled in
Yeah.
red. They've got 10 townhome units, that they wanna put there.
Where are they gonna put the parking?
They'll have short driveways and
What is this, Dan? They keep putting all this development, but no place to park.
Yeah.
8400's getting full.
No, I told planning and zoning, if you're gonna approve a zoning change, make sure there's 2 parkings
Per-
per unit
Yeah.
and from the sidewalk to the garage is 25 feet. That gives them 2 more parking spots.
And you got a sidewalk, so you're not walking around the vehicle.
Well, that's why we're going to
Yeah.
25.
Yeah, the setback,
Longer truck, it doesn't interfere.
right.
So did they listen to you?
Pardon?
They did adopt that,
Did
didn't
they
they?
listen to you?
Yeah, I
They-
don't think it's gonna take effect for another month. Because I know in the planning meeting last night, this guy was trying to
Push it through.
things up to get something through.
Why can't they take them and take that field that's gonna catch on fire anyway, and make that in a parking lot and get everybody off 8400?
That's what they want to put a car wash in there.
Oh, gee, we already got one. We got
got
2.
4 of them.
Yeah.
So I got really quick. So on this stuff, wouldn't they have to hook in?
Yeah.
Cause I looked at this land and purchasing it and developing it, and then you were gonna have to hook in from the apartments, am I right?
Yeah, they can if they, and I've looked at this, basically they cannot have basements.
Yeah, how do they get
Right.
to it?
For the sewer, and we maintain, you know, our sewer
Right.
is not shallow. So I looked at all of that. The options are to go to the apartments, or there is the ability to bring the sewer out to 84. It just inhibits what they can build. It
Right.
Changes that a little bit.
So what's the option?
So
Trevor?
I believe,
I mean, to get sewer, what is your recommendation for?
well, my recommendation is to bring it out on 84 because it works. And what I've discussed with him is, you know, no basements.
Yep.
Do they have a right of way to get, or you're saying to go back uphill and go out? So
So this Robin Road
They'd
is
have
a
to go
right
up
of
that
way.
road.
that's that little stub that comes
Yeah.
over,
And there will be
looking
a
at the
road.
practice field.
Yep,
Yeah,
Drives it back.
so you would say they come back that way to the south and going to Robin Road? Wow.
They've been vacant a long time.
Otherwise, how would they go down to the apartments? There's no sewer there.
Yeah, there's kinda, apartments have a manhole somewhere in this stretch, and then a service to that apartment. It's kind of difficult. There's a big drop.
Or go to 8,000, but they'd have to establish a right of way, and that house is pretty close to that.
Yeah,
The house on the right there.
84.
Yeah,
no way we can squeeze down a property line. or-
yeah,
we
pretty tight.
Talked about that too, so.
So have you told them no basements and go south?
Yeah, I gave them minimum sewer requirements, and they've provided more than what's, shown in here. They've actually provided plans with elevations.
How deep is the sewer on Robin Road?
Well, the sewer is not in Robin Road. It's still have to come out to 84.
Yeah,
It's
How
about
deep would it
10
be there?
feet.
10 feet? Oh,
84 is about 10 feet.
That would be quite an expense though, huh?
Yeah, it's not,
I
it's
know.
gonna be a challenge, and like I said, they're kind of losing out on the type of unit. And
Because when I looked at it, I had that.
too bad.
not a great
Yeah.
spot.
Why don't they go to those people and say, here, you can have a nice backyard, sell it to them?
Yeah.
It'd almost be better buying that last lot, and
Changing.
converting the whole thing into.
Oh, yeah. Give them an extra entrance, huh?
So, with all of that said, we can service this, and I recommend approving water and sewer.
So do we want to prove this one by one? Or do we want to, well, yes, I guess we could.
I would suggest you vote on each project.
Okay.
That way, if you're fine with one and you're not with the other.
Right.
Yeah, okay. So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the sewer and water to the Philangus Township Home PUD located at 2943 South Doris Street.
I'll second that.
Been motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Seal Masters.
Next one is Seal Master, subdivision. So Seal Master is an existing, warehouse building out on the north frontage road, about 6778 west. This site right here. There's good visuals in the packet. What they're planning is a cul-de-sac, commercial development. So it's,
6 lot.
they've got up to, like quarter-acre lots, half-acre lots. And Seal Master, they were here yesterday, and, just briefly explained the idea is that there's not a lot of space out here for the little operation. We've got big warehouses, big flex buildings. He sees this as being an opportunity to provide smaller lots for.
Trevor, what's the development or all that occupy on the left-hand side?
Here, it's been built, those ones are called there's 2 large warehouses.
So the West Valley and.
Oh, so that's not accurate?
Yeah, the background image is not new enough to show those buildings, they just.
What's the building on, is this anywhere close to where Morgan Asphalt is?
Is that the towing?
No,
is
it's
that-
We're going to the east.
East,
This is 72.
okay.
It's
You got that little auto part, or.
just east of Pull and Save Wrecking Yard.
Yeah. And they're
So
white
is
and
that
gray
close to the
buildings.
tear apart? Or is that where
Yeah,
Sandy
it's
Meadow is?
right, it's right over, yeah, it is.
So
That
they're gonna-
area's just changed so much, it's like,
yeah. So they're gonna make a place to go in, turn around and come back out type thing?
Yeah,
So they'll,
so it'll be more of a commercial, industrial type subdivision with
and they'll get to it on the frontage
smaller
road?
shops, yeah. Yep, they're gonna have their own entrance into their existing building here, and they'll have a separate entrance. We'll come back to that.
Oh, wait, but they've already got a building there, don't they?
yeah.
They do.
Yeah, used to be it used to be a wrecking yard before.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
And then they
they'll
took it over,
continue to
yeah.
operate out of this front building,
Okay,
and they'll have a road down the east side.
Oh,
and a separate entrance there.
so it'll be a separate entrance and then you'll go in, and it'll be like a business park, huh?
Yeah,
So they've got to do a main line down that access?
there's an 8-inch fire loop
Okay,
that was put in with Sealmaster. And so what they've tried to design kind of around that, so it maintains through the roadway. So it actually, you know, it kind of works out to keep a lot of that existing infrastructure.
so how much water line do they have to run out in that vacant lot then? In there,
Really none.
really?
Water is pretty much taken care of. They'll have to make some adjustments and changes, and then it'll be sewer and we'll extend secondary.
So how many water meters will we have in that new
There's a
area?
total of 11 lots.
11
Oh,
lots.
11 lots, okay. Wow. So it sounds like it's a good thing, huh?
It'll be a different look than just the massive warehouses.
Yeah.
It'll look good.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the Sealmasters Water and Sewer located at 6778 West, SR 201 North Frontage Road.
Second that.
It's been motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, let's move on to item I, projects and award and agreements. A discussion and possibly motion to approve the following projects awarded and agreements.
I can start the intro to
Okay, go,
this item.
yep, go for it.
Okay, so the first item on the agenda is discussion of the fleet vehicles. We've got two things that we wanted the board to just consider. The first one is with the customer service meter position, there's a need for another vehicle for that person to utilize when they're out in the field. And you know, they're going to be mostly out in the field, but there'll be a lot of back and forth from the office to the field time. And so there's I'll let Raymond kind of explain more on that. And then on the wastewater side, there's been some planning on how do the snow plowing operations we're currently using a 2007 Chevy that we own, but it's in pretty rough shape. And so there's been some planning that maybe it makes sense to move the plow to the 2013 Ford, right, Dallas?
Correct.
And then a new vehicle would be a purchase vehicle to go into that program, and you would cycle through those vehicles. So next in line would be the 2013 Ford. When that's run down to the ground, the vehicle that we purchase now would be next in line to be utilized for the plow. So the idea with the plow is you're putting some pretty hard wear on it. So owning those vehicles, right, makes
Own them and kind of get them in a rotation.
owning
so-
them and having in a rotation.
What would we do with that Chevy pickup? Just get rid of it? I mean,
2007?
That would be an auction, right? Sell or a surplus.
How many do we own now besides the little truck and the 2007?
3.
We own 3. What's the
This,
third?
the other one is one's the Ford, and then the other one is the Chevy, the 2007, and the Canyon. So the one.
What year is the Ford?
The Ford's a 13.
at
Oh,
13,
it is. And we own that one.
Correct.
and that's the 4-door.
Oh, and then we do own our
Ford.
service truck on the water side, so there's actually 4 then.
Yeah.
What is the
The 750.
And the Ford's the one you want to put the plow
750
on?
and the 550, so actually.
And then get rid of the
2013.
18, the 2008 Chevy truck.
Yeah.
So,
Keeps growing.
so these are the one option is to add one to the lease, to purchase these, but add one to the existing lease, add the other one we would just purchase outright, I think was the thought. So that's one option. When Raymond was looking into the pricing, We had Chevy on the state bid, and they were the lowest last time. Right now, Ford had the lower pricing, right? You wanna talk about pricing on those vehicles, what you were?
Yeah, the Ford was like, looking on the Ford was the cheapest, but it was it was a stripped down version like I talked to you. Had no options on it, so that's why the price is so cheap on it.
Yeah, it was 3,000 cheap.
Yeah, so actually if you went to another LT, not LT, I think it was Ford's LT, and it jumped up probably another $9,000 to similar to what we have now. And then going with Chevy, did not have no 3/4 tons or 1 tons at all. All they had was half tons. Ford only had a few 3/4 tons, but no half tons. But they only had 1/2 ton. This is the one that's on this your packet.
So my question is, how many miles? I know that we had some miles on the Canyon,
Yeah,
but I don't remember, I couldn't
Right.
find where I wrote it down.
yeah, it's 115,000 roughly on the Canyon.
On the Canyon,
Yeah.
and how many are on the 2007 Chevy?
That's 121,565.
121.
And then the Ford is 82, right?
Correct.
And that's the one you want to make a snowplow out of.
Correct.
And the only question I had there is if the Chevy is getting beat up with 121,000, I just wonder if we need to do a 1 ton on that. A dual wheeled, single cab, something a little heavier duty. Because you've only got 121,000 in my fleet, that's brand new. But I'm just wondering if it's getting beat up, we should be going to a little heavier chassis.
And I could see a 1 ton, but I don't think a dually would be wise because of the width on them. I think it's for the type, the area that we're in. I think that would be more of a problem with the dually, but a 1 ton, I think, would 3/4.
Well, if it has a heavier frame, I'm just thinking a little heavier frame, I don't
I
know.
think the frames are the same, it's just the springs on them.
Y'all really?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to point out that the plow truck now gets used for plowing during
Right.
the winter months, but the 2000 Chevy itself, it gets used all the time. Sometimes
Right,
when
right.
we're overloaded on blue stakes, so
Okay.
it doesn't just get used for plowing. It gets
Right,
used
right,
for
right.
weather.
I've seen it out.
No, I was only
The Ford,
thinking,
excuse me, Jeff, but the Ford that he has down there is a 1 ton.
Correct.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying if the 2007 is getting kind of beat up, I just wondered if we need to get something a little heavier duty to do the plowing.
So,
But-
so I guess the question is the Ford that we're proposing buying to get in this rotation a 1 ton?
It'd have to be, I'd say about 1 ton, it'd be to keep it in a 1 ton.
The Ford in the packet though is a 3/4.
So I did a little bit of, and I've spoke with Clint on this. I have actually got hold of the dealers, and these prices you're getting ain't government pricing. What they are, they're just vehicles they have in their lots. So in order to get government pricing, we need to sit back and order. And I'll tell you where I'm at, and I'm just speaking for myself. Is I think that Canyon, we should take that for right now and turn that into our 3rd vehicle for our meter reader. Wait till our lease is coming up. And get bid out our leasing, see who has our best leasing, and order all this stuff, order all these vehicles so they're all the same year. And then also, I would really like a number of how many vehicles we have and who's driving what, because down at the sewer plant, we put in a golf cart and we put in that other
UTV.
the UTV, and I would like to know,
Are they all being utilized?
are they all being utilized? I mean, at the best thing, because as you know, these vehicles get costly and pricey, and when you look at these miles that you just gave us, that little Canyon's only got 115, and I know
150.
no 115, wasn't it, the Canyon?
115, yeah.
115.
Oh, okay.
And I also say, we brought it up to the office because we do not want them driving their vehicles to the post office. My recommendation as a third of this board is, I think you could even have your 3rd meter reader guy go pick up the mail, so none of your ladies need to leave the office.
So we definitely could do that. That's certainly a viable option. The only concern I think we have is we're gonna be bringing on an HR, and we're gonna be wanting that HR person to be out and about. I think we get to the point where if we have multiple people sharing, you know, it's not that it can't be done, it certainly just gets to be quite a bit of coordination.
But I think it all comes with a time schedule, like, okay, I've got meetings this time, this time, this time, and this time, this time, this time, this vehicle can be used, and you got Trevor's and we got yours that possibly can be used for HR too.
Yeah, it's,
I just have a hard time. I appreciate this stuff, but I have a hard time going out right now and want to purchase anything when here a year out, we're going to be, and we have vehicles here that we can still use.
well, so we recognize that's a valid concern. After we've looked at all of the mileage, pretty well all of the vehicles, with the exception of the mechanics, is getting quite a significant usage. So we feel like the vehicles are being utilized with the exception of the mechanics.
And that's
So
another
an
thing that you
option.
could use too, is the
The
mechanics
only-
share that one.
So the only concern with that is it's a larger,
Full-size
it's a
truck
full-size,
and
8-foot
And
bed.
they're not economical gas-wise to use it as a
Non-economic.
runner like that.
So it's not ideal, but we could potentially use that for the meter crew and then keep the Canyon for the main runner vehicle HR. So that's something we could run in a temporary mode.
I just hate to spend money on vehicles when we're not getting the government,
I agree. It's
the
a
government
concern.
deal, and we're going out, we're buying these vehicles that are just sitting on the lot trying to get rid of because the 23s are coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we certainly can make it work and
Well,
wait. if
Would,
the-
would an
that's
HR
the
person need, couldn't the HR person utilize an SUV better?
Oh, yeah, I think so. I think our.
See, we were deciding if we bring
initially,
that
yeah.
person on, do we want to bring an SUV basically
Yeah.
for the office instead of a pickup? And the other thing I was thinking about, if some of these trucks we bring in that would say, hey, we're gonna put a plow on that truck, we may want to keep that truck. And so we might, when we do our purchase, break it out of the lease and get a good government price on it and just keep that vehicle.
Yeah, we could.
Possibly.
We could.
And I feel like I feel like them trucks that we have here that are on a lease, I think there's value in them trucks that when we turn them in,
Oh, yeah.
that we're gonna make some money off them
I
trucks.
think so too.
But I mean, and I'm just speaking for myself, I just don't want to go out and buy stuff if we've got stuff here that we can get us by till the time, because if we're gonna buy I just soon be all the same year than be offset. But I mean, I'm just speaking for myself, and you guys say how you feel, and
Yeah, because the 2007, you could sell that truck like that.
Yeah, I think we could certainly can
Yeah,
make
that's
it
fine.
work. It's not.
I mean, if
it's
it-
not. I think as long as the board understands, you know, you might see the Mike driving the mechanics. You know, you might see it. We might have to get a little bit not ideal, but we certainly can make it work.
well, and like I said, I struggle a little bit there when we approved that vehicle for the mechanic, because I get it that he has that service truck to go over and buy parts, but Jeff made a good point. How come we don't have the parts delivered to us where, you know, we know what we need, unless it's on the fly, and then there's gotta be a vehicle around that we can just jump in and go out to AutoZone or O'Reilly's.
Yeah. Do you want to tell him how he uses those vehicles? So they can,
Bob does use that vehicle to run AutoZone checker, runs into town for certain parts. Most of the parts that he is, like you say, would be delivered, he doesn't order parts like that, so
Right.
it's something ordered, it's something that's shipped into like an electrical place, and then he'll go pick it up. But usually it's not, we don't have that used for having parts delivered to us. I mean, we do have fittings that are all delivered to us, but usually we don't, and the service truck he's using, it's kind of like a runner. Bob will use the truck, when we have something go wrong with these trucks on our leases, that truck's a floater again. And, what else we use it for?
the construction crew will use it.
Construction
if they-
crew use it when they have massive, bunch of shut-offs. we'll utilize it in that purpose, but it's that truck has always been a floater, and it does have low mileage on it. And like I said, we could use it.
We could
So
get
at least
some
it's-
more, yeah, there's some more efficiency we could gain.
You can get out of it, but we'll have to put a toolbox on it.
But I definitely don't want the ladies or anybody in the office using that vehicle to go get their mail in their own personal vehicle.
Yeah.
Which is,
I think.
We're
yeah.
holding ourselves open for
And,
a
and
problem.
I will speak to the one concern I have with moving the mail duties to Mike is here we've had a person use their personal vehicle for years. And then as soon as they get a runner vehicle that they can use, now someone else is going to be taking it. It might send it might be a little bit of a hard thing to swallow for that person. I'm not just saying we can't do that, but I just wanted to make.
Well, I'm gonna leave that up into you're the manager, you do that, but to me, it seems like it'd be more efficient to send I mean, if he's out doing this, he should be able to just pop it and get the mail, and that way you ain't short-handed in here.
Yeah, I hate to take away from your office.
Yeah, she's accommodated that into her break time.
Yeah.
I mean, I think she's given the district a lot, and so I just want the board to be aware of that.
and that means a lot to her to go get the mail, to be honest, and she's been doing it for so long, and I think if we took it away from her, it would upset her quite a bit.
Just something to be considered.
Yeah.
And you know what, I understand that part, but never mind, I won't go there with it.
Why was the post office delivery man?
We have a PO box,
It's a PO box.
Yeah.
but if we didn't rent the box and had it delivered here, I mean, that,
I don't know, that is a question.
It's been that way. It's just
Forever.
one of those things.
Yeah.
It's not that we can re-evaluate it.
We could ask, huh?
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
The thing is, I don't want to feel that, I don't want the employees to feel like we owe them or they owe us.
And that's what we're trying to get away from.
And like I said, unfortunately, we're gonna change the way we do business a little bit. We're gonna change the way we do our mail, you know, I mean, you know, we appreciate what you've done, but, you know, we've got a new guy coming on, he's out and about, I mean, and, you know, again, you can't make everybody happy. But,
But I think the meter reader guy probably needs a truck, not a big one.
Yeah, that, like I said, but to be honest, the Kango would be perfect.
for right now, I mean, for,
For right now, we have to do it, we could use it for 3 months, that's no, and it has a toolbox and everything on it already.
but I will be honest with you guys, if you guys are looking at trucks, you better get with it, get your bids out and get the dealer because it's gonna take a while to get them.
Yeah, they're talking March, if you order them now in October.
Well, and like I said, we talked about HR probably could use a SUV.
Yeah.
That would be an SUV type thing, but
yeah.
we were also talking about light trucks. I don't think I'd ever agree getting to Colorado again.
Yeah.
If I had a choice, it'd be a half-ton truck because for the district, it's more utilized, don't you think?
Yeah, I agree.
So we could, if the board, we can certainly understand the tabling of that item.
But it's up to you guys. I mean, I'm just throwing what I think. You tell me what you think. I mean,
I'm on.
Yeah, these prices, like I say, it was really hard to even get these prices.
Oh,
Yeah.
There's nothing out there.
no, there's
I'll
not.
bet. But if we order them on a government contract, you'll get
Yeah,
everything.
well, it always is cheaper.
Let's get what you guys think we need.
What was that?
I said, let's get what you think you need on our government contract.
Yeah, we'll just, at least we know where we're at with pricing and availability at this point. We've talked through some of the ways to improve efficiency and utilization of.
Well, that's what I said. I just want to
So
make.
now we can come back with a different
I
recommendation.
just want to make sure that we're utilizing these trucks. And I don't have a problem buying these trucks. It's not about me wanting to cut back. I want to just make sure we're
Yeah.
utilizing it all, you know, I mean. And, you know, we used to have, like you said, we did have 2 down the EDR part. We're down to 1 now. So, I mean, I just want to, that's why I was asking Dallas the other day, how many trucks they have down to the EDR plant.
I had a question.
I mean, not the EDR plant, but the sewer plant.
Before you
That too.
went, we had a guy saying, oh, they're coming out with this 9-foot bed and everything. That's kind of bullcrap, isn't it?
I think we're at 8 is the max.
The ones we have now are 6'5", Right now, the service
I
truck.
thought we had some that were 9-foot
We have some
bed.
that are
No,
8.
the other ones are 8. The 1 tons are all 8.
So how's the Chevy versus the Ford?
Actually, I mean, it's mixed. You have some of them that like the Fords and some of them like the Chevys.
Oh, I think the Ford's higher to get up into, a little more uncomfortable, but
Yeah.
as far as holding up, we don't put enough miles on them probably. But that's another thing we need to look at is our trade-in. What do we get that trade-in value on? I think we need to kind of look at that and order what we need and then
And you wanna
base it
make
on
sure you order the 1500. The Ford was the LXT because that's where you get your money back on them. If you go to the low one, you're not gonna get nothing back.
custom?
You're gonna, you're gonna make your money back at the middle grade.
Oh,
That's where you wanna make sure you stay in that.
you want to get the XL grade?
Yes, you wanna stay in that because that's where your return's at.
Yeah, and this Ford in this packet is the low end and like.
Yeah, that's what you said.
so-
Yeah, I just wonder if we go apples to apples, but do we have a preference, whether it's a Chevy or a Ford?
I got a question. Raymond, so there's 2 different Fords in here. The 3/4 ton is the XLT. And this red marker, does that say the state contract? That's the state contract price?
On which, the one on, what are you looking at? On the Ford?
On the Super Duty, the 3/4 ton that would replace the plow truck?
No, that is not on state contract either.
So the red pen is false?
The one on top, it says the Ken Garv, that's the price on, 48K.
That's the Ken
It
Garf
says
one.
state contract here too, though.
Yeah, that price on this one is not.
I thought you said the Ford was on the state contract. It was,
The small one, the one was on it, I thought it said it, but I don't see it in the packet.
That's the 3rd page. It's got red writing at the top.
Yeah,
Says it's F-250.
yeah, and it says state contract next to it.
Well, that's,
No, this is the price now he has on state contract, we can get this truck right now.
So that one's available at the state contract price.
so that's the same truck as the 55,000, but on state contract?
it's the XL, but not the XLT.
Yeah, this is your stripped down model right here.
Strip down is the 41,918.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think you guys are reading it backwards. The truck on the following page is the stripped down model.
Oh,
It
okay.
says XL.
The
but not
$41,000 one?
Yeah, one
See, 'cause this has the.
Super cab,
Super cab, yeah, you're looking at, see, the one that's, on the one that says 49. This says 4975, which is your last page, is the one that's 4198.
Yeah, that's just an F-150, the other one's
Yeah,
was
see, the
55,
one
that's
is the
a
3/4.
F-250.
Is the 3/4.
the other one's a crew, is the crew cab, is just your regular four-door.
That's 4-door, yeah.
Well, I think we've got to come back
Yeah,
later.
and I think, like I said, what Mickey's saying, come back and he wants to go on a state
Well,
contract.
for sure, like Nick says, when they're on a state contract, they're pretty aggressive to sell the truck and they'll discount it pretty good.
But also too, you gotta remember one thing too, years ago when we were looking, leasing and purchasing, and I went out and done a lot of homework on, you can also go out there, even though it's a state bid, you can actually beat that state bid. And I did that.
Yeah,
And
that's what we
actually, like,
found.
on, this other one on the Chevys, he come back and, state contract on the one at 55, and then the other one come in at, 51, and that's not state contract.
See, we were paying for that same truck.
Yeah, being,
We were paying in the low 40s, right?
Yeah.
Last time around, so.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, there could be some substantial.
And that's my recommendation, is to find out how long it's gonna take to order these trucks. Bring it back to us and let us approve the go-ahead. And because we don't wanna give up our trucks and do what we had to do before, buy our trucks and then
Pay
turn
extra.
them, and then turn them back
Extend
in,
the lease.
till we can get our vehicles. But I know there's a return on these trucks. I know that for a fact. I already figured that out. We've got some money on these trucks that we've got, especially with the mileage.
Okay, we'll do that.
So let's pick what we want and then go for the state bid. I mean, if you guys,
What I'm hearing is get the next cycle ready for all of the fleet.
Right.
And add in the ones that we think we need and can utilize most efficiently. And then just get things geared up so that when we're to that point where we're ready.
And
to
add in the vehicle that we want to use for an HR
Right.
and for just an all-around vehicle for
To go
whatever
get the
we
mail,
got going
whatever.
around here. Like
Yeah.
if you
Would
need to
be
take it, go
best
somewhere.
A small runner SUV, a small SUV or whatever.
well, don't have, yeah.
Yeah.
not-
Yeah,
I mean, not a
and
full
because like I
size.
said, I would soon, our people use one of our vehicles and use their own personal vehicle. Like if Leal's got to run somewhere and it's available, she takes it.
Absolutely. I think that was the thought.
And it might not be a bad idea to put a board up and say, okay, this, you know,
Right.
I
Oh, a
need,
schedule board,
you
yeah.
know, just so everybody knows that,
Knows it's
hey,
going.
it's available, I can take it, you know, I mean, and it can be used for everything inside the office.
I think that would be great. And well utilized.
We just want to be conservatively efficient.
Right. No, I think it's good feedback.
And, you know, getting back to it seems like everybody's been happy with that gray. Any comeback? I mean, because that's something that we want to look at too for color wise. Are we good with the gray or you guys want to go back to the white? I mean,
Yeah.
Anybody have a preference?
I like either, if we could, you know, I would prefer all one color, but maybe we stay with either the silver or the white as options, just because we have those two vehicles in our fleet.
we're closed.
Do you want me to?
Will you let them know?
And there again, availability, white may be
Yeah,
more available.
sometimes
I
there's,
kind of worried about that,
it's availability too.
yeah.
And if you order them, you're gonna pick your color anyway, so it's not gonna be a problem.
I don't know we're gonna be too picky now, we're gonna put in the bid and
And I
get
think
what.
the guys like the silver. It was a change.
I like the silver.
I do too. It doesn't show
I
the
think it's good
dirt.
too, I just don't want it to take longer to get it. You know.
Okay, we'll proceed
Okay.
in that direction.
Okay,
Okay, let's move on to the
Epic,
Epic Engineering Test 2022-8.
okay, so this is the task order for the Zone 3 secondary water storage reservoir. We have done a siting study. We had 3 different sites, kind of up here to the south, and worked with Kennecott to kind of narrow it down. We selected,
It's up to you, whatever.
you know, a site that's out near our existing Zone 3 drinking water reservoirs. So with that, we're also continuing our discussion with Kennecott, and there's a, you know, future property owner. And then, but we've asked Epic to put this together to start the design of that facility.
for zone 3.
Yep. They did the design and, construction management on our Zone 2, and that went very well. So we have full confidence in them, doing this one as well.
Okay,
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Epic Engineering Task Order 2022-8 for design and bidding services on the Zone 3 secondary water reservoir project in the amount of $141,700.
Second.
bid motion, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay.
Next task order is the IGES. This is for geotechnical services on that same Zone 3 storage reservoir. They've also, you know, helped us on the Zone 2 reservoir. Got good information from that. They've kind of tailored this off of the scope from that previous one. And IGES has done good work for us in the past, and full confidence that
Okay,
Yeah,
the boards,
Right.
test pits.
yeah, that's gotta happen.
okay.
Yeah, okay. So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve IGES Task Order S22-026 for geotechnical services on Zone 3 secondary water reservoir project in the amount of $23,000.
Second that.
Bid motion, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the next is, the material storage structure. And this would be the supply of the structure, the engineering, delivery and installation. What that doesn't include is the block foundation that the structure will sit on. So Raymond has purchased block, Epic Engineering will help us design that block.
That's that block
for the
yesterday we
foundation.
approved.
Oh, is that block?
Yeah.
Oh, because normally they use the ones we get from the concrete company that are the big blocks that are about,
These are 6 feet long.
oh, okay.
So these are the ones.
And they'll stack on top of each other. Yeah, that's, okay.
Yep.
You put concrete blocks and I thought they were little.
Well, that's what we were-
Building
yeah.
8 by 8 by 16.
So,
Landscaping.
I thought, boy, you're getting a lot of them. That's pretty expensive.
so there'll be a little bit of work that we need to do in preparation for this clear
Sure.
span coming out
Sure.
and installing. But this size is actually a little bit bigger than we had planned, but comes at the same cost.
Is it their standard? Or they don't care?
They'll
You just
sell
put
a
it
40
in.
by 40 or a 45
No, I
by
mean,
40,
for the clear span, they don't care as long as it's a certain size?
meaning,
Clear span for the block or the blocks?
yeah, as long as they don't care. They'll install it on whatever you
Oh,
build.
okay.
It's the, getting through the county and approval,
Oh.
to have that foundation design, and the block will work for that.
Is that considered a foundation?
It can be, yep.
Call it a
Especially for
temporary
this time of
building and
weather.
tell them we don't need a building permit. It's temporary, it's a clear span.
Where's Dan at? We need to tell him that.
So,
Okay.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to approve the design installation material storage structure by Clearspan Fabric Structures in the amount of $60,768.
I'll second that.
So motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Hey Nathan, do I need to reread like the cost, like, when he reads it and he puts the cost to it and then we second it and then I come back and say all in favor? Do I don't have to,
Yeah,
okay.
you already read it in the motion.
Okay, I just want to make sure, okay. Thank you.
the next item is an amendment to an existing task order for Hanson Allen Luce. In the later part of 2021, we had a task order from them to do general engineering services on our wells. We have utilized them, since then, and we're using this budget amount for the 20,000 from the original task order to do the help with construction management of the Haynes 2 well. And that budget is just basically been spent. So we're asking for another 20,000 to finish out this year and the Haynes 2 project. And then they'll be able to, also continue to help with the well levels and anything else.
Have we seen, I don't know if anybody, have you seen the evaluation? Has any of us seen the evaluation that Alan Luce did on the well? On the stuff they've done so far, the money we spent?
Well, it's essentially been helping with the construction management of the refurbishing of the well.
Okay, I thought they were doing evaluation and looking
Oh, so
condition and,
we are working on that.
oh, okay,
We've collected 10 years of data and you're talking about the groundwater level.
yeah,
Yeah. And
They're also
so-
working on that.
Yeah, that's in process.
okay,
So this will cover, that as well.
okay. So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to approve the amendment to Hanson Ellen Luce, Task Order 23-17-100 for well evaluation and rehabilitation services in the amount of $20,000.
I'll second that.
Been motion second, all in favor? Aye.
Okay, the next one is the amendment to the water reuse project task order. Now, these are not items that were missed in the original scope. We've added to the scope.
Okay.
Just through the process, we've extended the length of the filters, and had additional work there. We've added in what we're calling effluent pumps, and those allow all of the effluent to go through the filters to reduce the phosphorus and then be pumped out to the C7 discharge line. And then there's also an alum injection point that will allow us to inject alum right before the filters to help bind up more of that to be removed by the filters. That generally covers the three main items, right, Jeff?
And you can't forget the increased landscape.
Yep. So around the building, we kind of envision this reuse facility being a location that we can bring other people out, whether it's the state or other municipalities or cities, those looking into reuse. So we wanted to make the kind of the front of the building a little more visually appealing. It's not much.
Curbside.
Let me.
Curb appealing.
It essentially has some rock, a few bushes, and like a concrete patio area
Okay.
that you can meet out there and talk before you go inside because pumps are running and all
Noisy,
that's happening. And it may have an awning above it for some shade.
I was just gonna say that.
And then
Or keep the rain off.
have a wastewater treatment flow diagram that shows kind of the whole treatment process and how it works through and goes to the reuse.
Okay, I like
So
that.
it'll be a nice,
Demonstration, it's also a little bit of a demonstration
Yeah.
where
With the
we're
planting-
using the reuse water
yep,
and showing people we can
we're
grow.
gonna use the reuse water on the trees and the bushes that are there.
Okay, I like that.
Very good.
So are we under the same restrictions to go in the C7 ditch as we were into Kersey Creek?
No.
We're not in the same restrictions, is it less?
So different parameters have different restrictions, so it's not just hard and fast. It's easier to go to C7 than it was to Kersey Creek. Depends on which parameter you're talking about.
But it should be.
It
really
is.
should be.
I mean, we were talking about having to go to UV. If we would have potentially had to build a whole ultra
How do we fight
UV
that?
facility if we went
That's
to
ridiculous.
Kersey.
That C7 ditch has arsenic, it has all kinds of stuff leaching out of the tailings pond into C7, and
So
how
that's
in the
why
heck?
we would have had to not put any chlorine into Kersey, but we can put the chlorine into C7. So we're benefiting significantly from going.
I
to
think
C7.
Kennecott should be paying us to put water in the C7. We're cleaning it up, we're diluting it.
Isn't Kersey Creek dry now?
Pretty much.
There's hardly anything in there.
Either option,
No, I'm just saying, they acted like we were putting it in the Snake River on Kersey Creek. That was ridiculous.
They were.
But I mean, and it goes down and then ends up in the C7 same location.
it is.
I just think we ought to fight that a little bit. I'm just saying, they get a little ridiculous.
It's
on
always
this
been a
thing.
dirty ditch.
If you just go take a sample in the C7 and say, okay, look at ours, look at theirs, and there's where we're going into, that's ridiculous. We're not adding, as long as we're not adding any contaminants, but we're not gonna clean the world up by going over and dumping in that C7, so.
Yeah, I know, it's
One little bubble.
So that, if there's not any other questions on this.
Okay.
Okay, so, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to approve the amendment to the Bowen and Collins and Associates Task Order 21.1 for water reuse facility project in the amount of $85,901.
I second that.
Been motion second, all in favor?
Okay, the next item is a change order on the Haynes Well, 2 pump station, or well rehabilitation. So this is, for the cement plug at the bottom. Whittison has already done it. It was just a simple plug, so this is time and material
Okay.
of doing that. Recommend.
So this is plugging that well off
It's
permanently?
not plugging off, so through the process of bailing out the bottom and then videoing, we were getting some of the silica sand in, and it was
Oh.
because at the bottom, the casing was kind of falling apart.
Oh, we have no bottom.
Yeah, so they put in a cement mortar mix into the bottom to fill up a little bit of that and plug that,
Okay,
so.
good deal.
Okay, so, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the change order number 1 for the Haynes Well to our cleaning project to increase the contract price by $4,550.
Second that.
Been motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the fencing, for zone 3 secondary water reservoir in the amount of 71.5.
Just a minor clarification,
Yeah.
that is zone 2, just to make sure.
Zone 2,
It is zone 2, yeah.
okay.
Zone 2, and then the price on that is not 71, Mickey, that is the change.
Is that
order
the
that I gave you.
67,995?
Yes.
Okay.
That was my mistake. This bid came in late when I was trying to get these packets ready, due to the estimator on Mountain State fencing, and that didn't come in till this Monday, so that's why it wasn't in your packet, and I do apologize for that.
Nope, you're fine. So see, this is what you were approving, is this right here, the
Yeah,
67?
I got it.
Okay.
I just wrote it in. So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the fencing for Zone 2, secondary water reservoir in the amount of $67,995.
Second that.
Been motion second, all in favor? Aye. Okay,
I like how Raymond's apologizing for saving us another $3,500.
It was worth the wait.
okay, so we're gonna move on to item J. So discussion possibly motion to approve the following administration items. Next scheduled board meeting is October 20, 2022. It is the third Thursday.
Yeah.
We can change it.
Now, isn't that the day that we have the luncheon at Dawn's?
No, his is September 20th.
Oh, September 20th, okay, I'm a month ahead.
So this one was moved for, the
WebTech.
WebTech conference is scheduled for the second Thursday.
Did we approve that, the West Tech? Okay, when is that?
That's Trevor, Dallas, and any board members. So is there anybody else?
And where's this at?
It's October 8th.
Oh, October 8th, yes, I wanna go to that.
I'll be in St. George. Isn't that
So
the
we
week?
just need to
to
let
go?
Kim know.
Try, yeah. See what
So it's the 8th through the what?
I think it's a Sunday through Thursday. So let me pull that calendar up.
Okay,
Let's see,
Thursday's the 13th.
the 8th is a Sunday, so is that the week of the 9th? The week of the 9th?
I have to see if I got the calls that week.
October week of the 9th?
Correct, yep.
Yeah,
The
so I'll be in
8th to the
St. George
13th.
that week. Oh, Columbus Day.
That's the one that you need to go to, because that's the best one
That's
out
what you
there.
told me, but I couldn't help it.
It's like you'd be like a little, you'd be a kid in the,
Yeah, you
Toy
said it
house.
was good.
If you're into equipment,
Yeah.
that's a good
I
one.
could never get him out of there, so we'd be sleeping overnight there.
You'd be out in the parking lot out there, you know?
Right.
Go
With you
for a
guys.
couple days if you could.
Yeah. I'm
I
gonna
think-
find out
I
exactly.
think that'd be good for you, because seriously, you'd love that.
Oh, man, that sounded good.
We just
So-
won't go together, because you'd stay and I'd leave.
Ah,
Do we want to keep it the 20th? Do you want to move
Yeah,
it?
you know what, I'm fine with the 20th. Are you okay with the 20th?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're fine with the 20th.
Sure.
It's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
just put it on your
absolutely.
calendars. It's the third Thursday.
Got it right there.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it in right now.
There was, one other item on that section. We do feel like there's a need, as we've talked, Mr. Chairman, on the scheduling a labor agreement, negotiation preparation, like a closed work session with the management team and the board, to go get prepared for our strategy and the goals to go into the next labor union.
okay, so, and that's December 1st.
Well, I think we want to set something up.
It wasn't on the.
Oh,
We don't have
Okay,
that
okay,
particular-
trustees, okay,
So,
training.
We don't need to commit to anything, but wanted to start that discussion. We can put something on next month's agenda to
Okay.
confirm.
okay.
I think, you know what, I think it's very important, and as Nathan said, we're gonna be moving into that, so we wanna kinda get, but,
Good, what are your goals? What do you want to?
so let me ask you a question, so when we do that, we've gotta, when we meet like this, we've gotta post it, and then it's an open meeting, people can, no?
Well, yeah, so anytime that you guys meet to discuss, there are some exceptions. For instance, if you guys wanted to meet and take a tour of the reuse plant, that's not a meeting that needs to be noticed, because you're not making a decision on anything.
We're just
You're
discussing,
not discussing anything, or,
okay?
Planning.
yeah, but if
making
you're,
decisions.
but here, if you're talking about something that's gonna come before you, that you're gonna have to vote on, which the union contract would, That's something I think we could probably do in closed session, but in order to go into closed, you have to have an open meeting. So you
Okay.
have to notice up an open meeting, say, hey, we're having a workshop.
Like we did
Workshop is,
yesterday.
yeah, the workshop is gonna be on this date, and then you just say, look, we're gonna have a closed meeting, and you can even put closed meeting to discuss personnel issues.
Okay.
Namely, union contract.
Okay, but I think I think we need to probably have, because we're gonna, the contract's in May, right? So I think it's very important that we start putting stuff together, not wait till the last minute, and you guys come up with some suggestions, and we, and throw some out, and we'll throw some out, and so we, so we know where we're at.
It's also good to help inform budgeting, so if there's some strategies we think are gonna affect budget in any way, it would be nice to have an idea ahead of time so we can make some estimates, and incorporate that. So would the board prefer a add-on to a regular meeting or just a separate meeting?
I'd rather do a separate meeting myself. How would you feel?
I would too, I'd rather,
'Cause
just
these
do it in
kids-
the morning sometime.
So
Yeah.
could we
Have
throw
breakfast
out
ready,
some
right?
dates, we'll get some dates and poll.
Okay.
Send out an email.
It'd have to be either around, the 15th or 25th of January. I don't know if you can make it in with Christmas and everything going on.
I mean, unless we did like in some November sometime.
Yeah, I'd be okay.
Yeah, well, you got Thanksgiving. I just wondered around the 10th of December.
Yeah, that would,
Maybe.
yeah, that would work.
Just
We could,
like a half a day meeting.
yeah, yeah.
Just a strategy meeting.
Just have a morning meeting.
I think that's good because
Yep.
some question may come up on both sides and we need more information and
Yep, that gives us
That'd be
time.
good.
Okay.
Okay,
And then we also have that, that UASD annual conference up in Davis is, what day is it for the trustees? Cause
I apologize, usually I put the days on there. Oh, okay, it's usually the first day.
is it the first day? And it's
Uh-huh.
usually like after lunch, right?
Well, I think they've made an all-day thing out of it now.
so it's only the first day?
They do what?
Isn't it 3 different?
Yeah, but they have just one for trustees, and I thought it was like a
Oh,
half.
is it in here? Sorry.
It's usually the
It's a half a
second
day.
day. I mean, they've got the agenda here.
Yeah,
Training sessions and board member training 1 to 4:45, you're right, okay.
1 to 1.
So that is the first session, first day, 1 to 4:45.
Okay, so that's the 2nd of November, okay. Cause I'm gonna go up to that,
Board meeting members. So we've got to be there on that day,
right?
and that's
If-
the afternoon,
Yeah.
1 to 4:30.
Yeah, that's us.
If you're all there that day afternoon, then your training will be satisfied for 2022.
You know what, I'm gonna do that. I'm just, cause I think, there's
do what?
there's some good talks that they do. I'm gonna go up
Oh,
to that.
excellent, yeah.
I mean, you can go online and do it, but I wanna go up to
Oh.
it.
If something happens and you can't make it, you can do online, or we're gonna try to schedule,
Somebody to come in here and,
Yeah,
oh, help me with these names,
well, some of the stuff people bring
the
up.
grand
is really
bidder
good.
for December 1st.
just tentative.
okay. Well, we as the board, would you rather have, if LeGrand could come here on the 1st of December or whatever, would you rather him come here and give us a one-on-one deal with just him? Or would you rather go up to that for,
No, for me, I'd rather go,
okay, me
that's
too.
just a half a day.
LeGrand
afternoon.
encouraged
Yeah, let's,
us to go to the
And the
UASD.
traffic's not
Okay.
usually too bad coming from Layton to here, it's going up, it's get real.
Yeah,
At
let's-
that time of the day.
But if you take Legacy Highway,
You haven't rode with him though yet, so.
yeah.
Okay, so can I need to move, and again, stop me if I can't do this, okay? So I wanna just go, before we go into close, I just want, oh, we don't have it on here, okay. I wanted to see if I could, how you have any other thing,
Other business?
yeah, any other business? I don't see that on here, so I guess we can't talk about that.
You can always discuss, right?
Yeah, it's just a discussion, so.
But if it's not something we're acting on,
Okay, so what I want to do, and I'm just going to speak, I think we all feel the same. I spoke with Leal about when she does her agenda, okay? When she does her agenda, she calls like Danny and she'll email us and say, hey, I need to have, if you got something for the agenda, I need it by tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Now, if 3 o'clock comes and we don't respond to her, and at 3:10, we decide that we have something, well, guess what, it's too late.
I have to say no.
So we turn around, and say, okay, guess what, we're not, if it's that important, we'll have to have a special board meeting to do it. But I think what's going on is, and I think that you guys need to work that out too, because what's happening, she's trying to please everybody and wait till the last minute, do this and this, and then we run into situations what we ran into today.
Okay.
So I think it's very important that we, you know, when she has something, say, does anybody have anything they want for the agenda? She don't hear from us by a certain time, it's closed. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
You okay with that?
Yes, I like that.
And then that way, we're not
Holding
sitting.
her up.
Yes,
Thank you.
okay, that's all I
I
have.
think that actually kind of falls under your next board meeting. So we're talking about changing to October 20th.
Yes,
So if we were to follow that layout, when would be the deadline for the October 20th for them to get to their?
Our production schedule right now is we talk as a management team on the Monday before. We had a deadline to put the agenda items to Leal by the Wednesday, and then packet items by Thursday. But the problem is the board needs to get called on Monday as well. So we are gonna change that protocol so that the board's called first, and the management team's talking. Then by Wednesday, you should have a draft of the agenda by the end of the day. You can make any adjustments to the agenda by the end of Wednesday
Okay.
night.
I'd like to put a time of like 4 o'clock.
Yeah, put a time.
well, yeah,
to
you
it.
need to have a time on it, because if you aren't put time, it's not gonna work.
And then Leal can have the packets assembled and put together and delivered on Thursday. That gives the board plenty of time
Okay.
to have them over the weekend.
But inserts, anything that needs to go in the packet, Thursday by noon would be
Yeah, we
great.
only
Thursday
need
by
to
noon,
do
oh, that's right, it was Thursday by noon. Yeah, cause
Cause then that'll give us the afternoon to assemble it.
for packet items.
Yes.
Okay. I think
The
you
other
guys,
thing,
made
the
for the
other thing
October
that would
meeting.
help significantly is if Leal could change her approach to the minute documentation. If we could go to the style that a lot of boards I'm seeing have transitioned to, is they'll post a recording and then they'll put a summary, and they'll even do timestamps, so if someone's interested, they can just put a timestamp and go to this discussion, so then Leal doesn't have to describe the whole discussion so there's some value if we were able to do that. I don't know if Nathan has any thoughts
Yeah.
on that, but
So you have to post the recording anyway. I mean, that has to be posted, so you post the recording, I think it's 3 days within the meeting. And then you have a fair amount of time to do the written minutes. And then once you've approved them, they have to be noticed. And so minutes don't need to be a transcription. And so they can be.
that's what we're used to,
Yeah.
but they don't need to be that, is what we're
Yeah.
saying, unless the board wants to
oh,
keep
no,
it.
I'm fine, that's how we do it.
But that takes her a lot of time. I can tell you.
Right. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I can do a sample or whatever next time and
Okay,
let you see what it looks like.
okay, that'll work.
Very good.
Okay, does someone want a motion to close the open?
I don't wanna interrupt,
Okay, go,
Nick.
yes.
but we talked about a budget workshop. Do you guys want a workshop with us before we bring a tentative to you?
I don't,
It would have to be done before the 20th.
a workshop on our budget. Do we wanna have something before, or should we just let them bring
We
it
could
to us?
do
Well, I think
after.
unless we're gonna add $4 a month to somebody's water bill,
Okay,
I don't think, do you think? That was the biggest ruckus we had, $4. $4.13, but I'm just saying, it really bring a lot, so if we're not doing that, I don't think we need to worry about it. But
if
it's
we
up to
bring
you
the
guys.
tentative to you and you
I'm okay
have,
with that.
if you have questions on the
Yeah,
tentative, we
just-
could get together
Yeah,
before
well,
the
that's what I
final.
said, you
Talk
could,
about that.
we'll meet and go over that, and if there's something that we need to look at, we could do that.
Okay,
Yeah, I think you've done a pretty good job. There's been a few surprises, and that's the only thing we gotta stay away from is surprises, last minute surprises.
okay,
But for the most part, I think it's been really good.
all right, thank you, sorry to interrupt.
Okay, let's make a motion to close the open.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to meet immediately in closed session to discuss character, professional competence, or physical and mental health of an individual pending or reasonable intimate litigation, and the purchase, exchange, and lease of real property, including any form of a water right or water shares pursuant to Utah Code 52.4, 204 through 205.
I'll second that.
A motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we need a motion to, it's
I'd
4:31.
like to make a motion to close the close and reopen the public board meeting.
Second that.
A motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we didn't take no action, so we need somebody to make a motion to adjourn.
So I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Did motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Well,
I think